Oh my lord, this thing's so much fun. Oh my lord, let me tell you, this thing is so much fun. This thing is incredible. The gearing is amazing, the suspension is amazing, the engine is working great. This thing is definitely not lacking in power, let me tell you that. The steering is it's not perfect, but it's not terrible. Also, the brakes are still a little, they work, but you kind of do have to stand on it a little bit, but it's, you know, it works fine. There's enough engine braking on this thing with the way that the gearing is set up. So, yeah, I am in love with this thing. It is so much fun. Mainly, I was in, on the way up here, I was mainly in medium range on the second transmission, and then I was mainly in 5th and 6th in the motorcycle transmission. And yeah, it's definitely fast. So that wasn't the fastest this thing can go. I was only in medium range. There's still high range, so there's still plenty more speed left if I want to go. On the way down, I may stick it in high range and see what it's like. So this thing's so much fun. Oh man. Yeah, this thing is so much more fun than the VF1000. That thing was a beast. It was massive, it's underpowered, the steering wasn't that great, it had no reverse, therefore it's like nerve-wracking driving that thing, because if you ever get into a situation we have to back out, you don't have reverse. With this, we have reverse. And then in low range, this thing has all the torques, all of them. So anyway, I'm going back to the truck so I can grab those metal poles, so therefore I can get a couple different camera angles on this thing. And on the way back, I'll try to stop and do some flybys on this thing. couple different camera mounts to get some different camera angles, and when I was in the parking lot, I met this awesome group of guys that knew who I was, and they invited me to go off-roading with them, and of course, I said yes. Not a good turning radius. Alright, I finally was able to take this thing on its first actual true off-road test. And I gotta say, I am in love with this thing. It is so much fun off-roading with the immense gearing difference between first gear low range and sixth gear high range. You pretty much can do whatever you want on this thing. As long as the rear tires have traction, it can go pretty much anywhere, which is amazing. This thing is so much fun. Now, I'm hoping I got enough good footage of showing what this thing can do, because while I was there, I met this awesome group of guys and went off-roading with them. And while I was off-roading with them, I kind of wasn't focusing that much on the cameras, and not really sure. Hopefully, I got enough good footage to show what this thing can do. The main reason for taking this thing off-road was to test to make sure, is it gonna survive? Is it gonna handle off-roading? Is the suspension gonna handle it? Is the gearing, all the gearing train gonna handle it? One issue I was having before I left, and I had to fix it the day before I left, is the secondary transmission, the car transmission on here. I've been having issues of it popping out of gear on really hard accelerations. It's the worst in second gear. It's not that bad in first gear, and then it's not great in third gear. But it was worse in second gear. I've been tinkering around with it, tinkering around with all the shift linkage, and I think I got it fixed. It did happen a couple times while I was off-roading, but it wasn't as bad as it was before going. So I think I almost fixed it. I may just do a couple more tweaks here and there to try and get it perfect, but. Other than that, this thing worked amazing. The suspension is unbelievably comfortable. Now, couple things that this vehicle needs. It needs a more comfortable seat, because that seat is not comfortable. I need mirrors, because while I'm sitting in the seat strapped in, I cannot see behind me. So I need mirrors so I can see behind me. And it needs side panels, because every puddle I hit, I just got splashed with a bunch of water. Also, it could kind of use some power steering, but it's not that bad. You know, it doesn't need it. It would be more of like a bonus. So maybe I'll add power steering in the future, maybe not. I'll see, but right now it's not that terrible. It doesn't really need it that much. So I think this thing has proven itself that it is mostly reliable. It will survive going off-roading, and it'll handle off-roading trails, and it'll handle some small rock crawling and all that kind of stuff. So I think the next step to do with this vehicle is to paint and finalize it. We need to do those couple things first of new seat, side paneling, mirrors, and stuff like that, and then it is ready to paint. So anyway, I gotta end this video here. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see ya in the next video. Now, some of you may have noticed that I took off the shock absorbers that I had on here. These. I put these on here just to help with when this vehicle is jumping, so it's not going to bottom out. And because the reason I got a lot of crap for putting those on there, and the reason I wanted to do it because I can change the valving on these shocks, but I want to valve these for mainly off-roading. And then when I want to jump this thing, I can put those on so it's not going to collapse the suspension when jumping, because right now the suspension is perfect. It's super soft. It handles bumps amazingly. I barely felt any bumps while driving this thing. But one issue that I noticed after installing those is, if you look at this, these go right here, and this is the shift linkage, and I didn't remember that this goes in. So what was happening is, and this wasn't the issue of it's going out of gear, that was a different issue, but another issue I was having with the gear linkage is this was hitting the shock absorber. You can see the mount right there and the mount up here, and it was hitting this. So yeah, I didn't really notice that when I installed those shock absorbers. So I have to fix this. I cannot move it. I could, if I wanted to, move this mount out 1.5 inches, but then it would look ridiculous. I'd have to do it on the other side so it would match, and I don't want to do that. That's gonna look ridiculous, especially with the mount sticking out way over I don't want to do that. That's too weird. So either I have to move this whole linkage assembly over 1.5 inches, or put these shock absorbers somewhere else on here, which I can't do. There's really no other good place to put these. So yeah, that was something I failed to notice. So anyway, it's just whatever. I'll fix it later. Now, there's a couple things that this vehicle needs. One, it needs a more comfortable seat. My ass was killing me after that. And then, don't say that. That sounds like y'all are gonna take that in a different way. So let me not say that.